Well, what a week it has been. Good morning. I hope you were enjoying the kickoff to your weekend. Here on Saturday morning, there's a chill in the air in this country now, and it's not really the weather, actually. It's the sound of silence. The sound of journalists too afraid to ask questions. That's what the sound is. The sound of creators losing reach for saying the wrong thing because now the algorithms all get changed on everyone. The sound of citizens whispering what they used to shout to the rafters when they had a problem with their government. Canada, once a nation that prided itself on open debate and fearless ideas, is slipping into a free speech ice age, and it's happening faster than we all thought it could. At the center of it all, the Mark Carney government and the Carney government's growing obsession with having control over each and every one of us. Now, it's not just over each and every one of us, it's also control over the narrative, control over the platforms, control over the conversation itself. Let's go.
Welcome to Bakes on Things.
Welcome back to Bakes on Things. It's the weekend wrap. I hope you are starting off your Saturday beautifully here. It didn't start overnight. It began with something that sounded noble, fighting misinformation. That's what they keep saying all of this is about. Who could argue with that, right? Because misinformation, tons of it comes from them. Nobody wants lies spreading online, do they? But the moment government starts deciding what's true and what's false, you've already lost freedom of thought right then and there. And here's the thing. Mark Carney's administration has built an entire architecture of control around all of this misinformation idea. The Digital Safety Office, yes, yet another office set up to bureaucratize everything. The Online Harms Act, the Disinformation Response Center, and the massive taxpayer-funded media networks that seem to be pushing his message left, right, and center are all complicit, in making all of this happen. They don't burn books anymore, by the way. They just make them disappear from your feed. You can't get them, can't find them, can't hear about them, can't read reviews, and can't comment on them. You don't get arrested for speech in this country so far. You just get demonetized or deranked or digitally erased. And most Canadians don't even notice that it's happening because the censorship is very polite, very Canadian, procedural, and wrapped in the language of safety. We're just keeping you safe, Canada. That's all we're doing. We're not taking away your free speech whatsoever. But the problem is that's exactly what they're doing, and the new censorship has a model behind it. It's control through funding. And here's the trick. Ottawa doesn't need to censor you directly if it already owns the microphone in the first place. Billions of dollars now flow to Canadian media through journalism support funds and these innovation grants they keep talking about and production partnerships with the government. Every time that a newsroom takes that check from the federal government, they take on a silent partner in all the news they bring to you. The federal government. And you don't bite the hand that funds you, do you? Most people don't. Do you sit there and bark at your employer? I don't think you do. And do you sit there and complain about what they do every day? No. So stories get softened, angles get watered down, critical questions go completely unasked. Watch any major broadcast these days and you'll see what I mean exactly. You won't hear the words about government failure. When's the last time you actually heard a reporter say those two words, that the government has failed at anything anymore? You'll hear unexpected delays. You won't hear liberal scandal, will you? You'll hear unfortunate miscommunication if something happens, but you won't hear liberal scandal. You won't hear critics say Carney's plan backfired, will you? You'll hear experts say that Canadians may need to adjust their expectations, but you won't hear that it's Carney's fault. Now, that's not journalism. That's choreography. That's exactly what that is. And it's happening because media independence has been sold off, newsroom by newsroom, headline by headline, sold off to the government. And now the government controls the entire narrative, and that's called state-funded media. And as much as they like to try and pretend like that doesn't happen, including cutting off feeds when independent media asks about state-funded media, it's out there, and we all know it. Here's how the censorship cycle seems to work now in Canada. Step one, the government funds a friendly outlet like the CBC. Step two, that outlet amplifies the government's line. We see that almost daily. Step three, any voice that challenges it gets flagged as misinformation just because the government didn't say it or doesn't agree with it. It's a perfect loop. The government funds the message, labels critics as dangerous, and the platforms quietly bury those critics in the algorithmic graveyard. It's what the government's pushing to do with the rest of social media as well. This is how liberal control works in 2025. It doesn't march in jack boots, it whispers through algorithms. And they don't need to silence you, they just need to make sure no one hears you. That's it. So it's not about shutting you down, it's about not being able to find you. You can still talk, but only to yourself. That's the goal of the work they're doing to strangle the algorithms. And that's the most dangerous form of censorship of all, the kind that pretends you're free while you're being digitally ghosted. So you're free to say what you want, but good luck having anybody find you while you do it. And that, again, is not freedom. There's a Carney doctrine here, and it's compliance equals credibility. And Mark Carney will say that you are credible if you're compliant with him. He has built his career on the idea that good governance means managed speech. He's talked about it many, many times. He loves words like responsible. He loves words like constructive and balanced dialogue. That's another one he loves to use. I mean, well beyond using catalyze every time he gets a chance to. It sounds great until you realize that what he really means is obedient speech, and what he really means is obedient to him. In Carney's world, if you question his policies, you're undermining trust. Even his own people within the Liberal government have said this. If you challenge his numbers, you're spreading confusion. If you reject his agenda, you're fueling polarization in the country. Basically, if you reject anything he does, he makes you the enemy. This is the language of authoritarianism disguised as civility in Canada. It's not about truth, it's about control of the narrative, and he loves to have that control. And that's why his government keeps pushing new regulations on online content and why they won't seem to back down from some of it, because they can't stand a conversation that they can't control. That's why they hate all of us YouTube creators right now, because they can't control us currently, and they're trying. Make no mistake, they're trying. The internet should be a place, though, for free speech. Now it's the last thing the establishment wants left unregulated because they want us out of here. And so there is a role of big tech here. There's a role of Google and YouTube and TikTok and others, and it means rejecting silent compliance to this. The scariest part is that big tech is playing along. When they ask, they do. Platforms that used to stand for openness are now partners in Ottawa's control project. And not all of them, but some of them are. And they're certainly downranking people for making opinions known. They downrank content flagged by government agencies at the click of a button. They just ask to do it, and they remove videos for context violations. They label independent journalists as unverified while amplifying corporate media that parrots the official line. And why wouldn't they? They probably get funding for this. They want access. They want tax breaks. They want regulatory protection from these governments. So, of course, they're going to oblige to some of these things. This is not the platform's fault in any way. It's just something they are doing. So you, the citizen, are now trapped in the middle, squeezed between an overreaching government and a complicit tech oligarchy. You think you're scrolling through freely and seeing what you're supposed to see, but you're actually being shepherded through a digital fence built to keep you docile. And that's how they've designed every piece of this through the Liberal government and through the tech companies. And here's the thing, this is the even more chilling effect of all of this censorship. Every journalist, every creator, and citizen now feels it. And that quiet chill is before you speak. That's the thing. You get a little chill before you say something. The second guessing before you post now. Is this going to get removed? Is it going to get throttled? What's going to happen? The hesitation before you say what you really think might even happen to this episode. Who knows? But that's not freedom. That's fear. And fear doesn't need to arrest you. It just needs to silence you in your own mind. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to make it feel like, hey, my channel might get demonetized, my TikTok might get destroyed, my Instagram might get shut down. That's how free societies die, not with a plan, but with a whisper. Better not say that, because somebody's going to shut you down. Canadians used to laugh at countries that censored speech. Now we just call it content moderation. We've just renamed it something else. But make no mistake, when truth becomes dangerous, lies become law. And that's what we have in the country of Canada right now. This video itself will likely get labeled by somebody as misinformation. But it's just the reality of what's going on in this country. I'm only speaking the truth. Here's the thing. Let's be honest. The people in charge don't fear misinformation. They don't fear it at all. They fear accountability, though. They fear having to hold up to what they've promised. And they fear Canadians waking up to how badly they've mismanaged this country over the past decade. They fear creators who won't play along with that narrative. We're not funded by them. And even if we were, we should still do the right thing and not play along. They fear the kind of conversations that spark real change. So they control the platforms, they control the press. And then they tell you it's all for your protection. It's all about national security. Boy, what an excuse. You can use that on everything, can't you? Protection from what exactly? What is it exactly that's scary about this particular video, for example? From thinking too much, from disagreeing, from realizing how broken the system really is? Is that dangerous? Freedom of speech isn't about letting people say nice things. It's about protecting their right to say uncomfortable things. And we need that in this country right now. Because right now, the only thing our leaders find uncomfortable is the actual truth. And that is something that doesn't appear to be going away anytime soon, especially if any of these new bills get passed in the House of Commons. So what happens next? What do we do as a group? Well, if this freeze continues, Canada won't just lose free speech, it will lose free thought. And free thought is what this country was built on. Because when people are too scared to speak, they stop thinking freely too. And when you stop thinking freely too, you have no way to challenge the things that this government should be accountable for. That's what we're watching happen right now. A national lobotomy, self-inflicted through actual silence. I'm afraid to say this on my Facebook. I'm afraid to say it on my TikTok or YouTube. But here's the thing. The ice always cracks eventually. Every empire that's tried to control speech eventually collapses under its own hypocrisy. Because you can't suppress truth forever. It finds a way through. It always does. Like sunlight through frost. There is always going to be truth. And when it does, all those people who stayed silent will wish they had spoken sooner, because the damage will already have been done. If it's not already being done right now here in Canada. You're not even allowed to see Canadian news on Facebook or Instagram or other platforms. So here's my message to Canadians watching this weekend here on the Weekend Wrap. Don't go quiet. Don't let anyone tell you what you can and cannot say. Not a minister, not a media executive, not a Silicon Valley algorithm. Don't let them tell you what you're allowed to think or do or say. Because free speech isn't a gift from government. It's a birthright in our free societies. And once you give it up, you're never going to get it back. This country was built by people who spoke up. That's how we built it. Loudly, inconveniently, but bravely. And the country got built. And if we're going to save it from these people who want to stop you from saying anything in the matter of national security, we need to find that courage again. Because this isn't just about censorship. It's about total control. And the only thing powerful enough to break that control is your voice. So please use it. Continue to use it. before the silence becomes absolutely permanent. Thanks for watching Baked on Things, the weekend wrap. I hope you have a phenomenal weekend. Don't forget to share this video with all your friends and liberals everywhere, as well as, of course, all your conservative groups and everything else. We will be back Monday morning for the first sip, but enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't forget to, again, like, subscribe, and join the conversation down below. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you Monday morning.